Hey guys, it's the New York Millennial, and we're back and we're giving you the results from Tuesday's primaries.
Yeah, and we were wrong in our predictions, but we are actually pretty happy to say that because Bernie looks like he went 50% to 48% in Michigan, which no one really saw that coming. People maybe predicted, even we predicted to be closer than the polls, but this is just a crazy thing that like no one really could say would have happened. But then you look at Mississippi, and I mean, he definitely did pretty bad, but at the same time, he didn't go under 15%, which going under 15% would mean that he's not viable and wouldn't get any of the delegates. So I mean, he still got some, but it was virtually none. So it's okay.
It's definitely a big moral victory for him because no one expected him to win Michigan
Yeah,
because in the polls he was down by 20 points, like on average, but he won. Granted, he didn't win by a lot, but it was still very good for him. That being said, Hillary actually won more delegates because she did really well in Mississippi and she just barely lost in Michigan, but still it's definitely really good for the Sanders campaign.
yeah,
A thing to mention is that Michigan was an open primary, which means you can be Democrat, Republican, Independent, and vote in the Democratic primary. So I think that was one of the reasons why it led to a huge turnout for Sanders, which also means that in future states where it's a closed primary, like New York, or semi-closed primary, it's going to, well, actually, no, just closed primary. It's going to be a lot harder for Sanders to gain a lead and actually win that state. So
yeah.
this trend might not continue for all states in the beginning, but it definitely has the potential to.
Yeah, actually, when you look at it, like he usually proves the polls wrong, right? I mean, like a little bit, like even if it's like 5, 6% or something like that. But here you see a huge, just insanely like different than the polls, and I think that is because the open primary. Like in closed primaries, I still think he'll beat the polls at least a little bit. But I feel like in like open primaries, you can really you just don't want to underestimate him.
Yeah, I think in the South, the polls are pretty accurate. He doesn't really budge on that. In the Midwest and North, his poll numbers budge probably between like 5 or 10 points, like in favor of him.
Yeah,
And then if there's an open primary, who knows?
yeah, exactly.
You know
Who
what I
knows?
mean?
Yeah. So I
And
mean, is
then
that pretty much it, or do you have anything else for
yeah, and
Democrats?
we'll talk about Republicans, right?
Okay, yeah, we'll go to
Okay.
Republicans now. So Republicans, it looks like Trump he did a 3 out of the 4, which is pretty good for him. But Cruz ended up getting one win with 45% in Idaho, which I mean, like if you look at the delegates, I mean, Cruz actually isn't that far off. I mean, 100. It's it's definitely not the
It's
hardest
closer
thing to
than Clinton
overcome.
and Sanders.
Exactly. Which, but at the same time, you could look at Rubio and Kasich, and I mean, who knows exactly what's going to happen? But it looks like they're pretty much out for now. Especially like Kasich really low. But I mean, like what were you saying earlier about like Rubio? He's pretty much completely done. Like he just doesn't have like.
I think that Rubio is probably going to drop out possibly soon because there's no real political oxygen for him because you have Trump who's the crazy man, then you have Cruz who's the conservative, and Kasich who's the moderate. Where does Rubio fit in? Like, I think originally people wanted him to kind of be that candidate to encompass everyone, be like the anti-Trump,
Yeah.
but like he just got bloodied up by Chris Christie and just started acting like a child a little bit that he wasn't really able to do that. So I think there's really no room for him.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's just, I mean, even though that is true, and he's pretty much not gonna get anything more from this race. But Kasich, I still think even if like he might win a few more states, like you were saying, like Ohio or something like
Yeah.
that. But it doesn't look like he really has much of a chance. Like 54
No.
delegates this late.
I
Uh,
really think that like Rubio and Kasich are literally, if they both stay in, it's to make sure it's a brokered convention to try to stop Trump.
Yeah,
That's all they're doing.
Completely
Like
agree.
Cruz is really the only one who can stop Trump at this point.
yeah. I mean, honestly, like I always keep saying, like Trump is the inevitable candidate, but really, like you really don't know exactly. I mean, like it looks like he's probably gonna go through, but with like conventions and with just even just the states, you don't really know what's gonna happen. But I mean, it looks like it's leaning towards him. Cruz is the only real contender, though.
Yes. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next New York Millennial. See ya.
See you around.